Hello, students. This is a class for BA Part 3, and we will be studying Getting Up on Cold Mornings, an essay by Leigh Hunt. Leigh Hunt belongs to Romantic age, the age which is related to Wordsworth and Coleridge, Keats and Shelley, etc., great poets. Uh, Leigh Hunt was a poet, critic, essayist, biographer, and autobiographer also. He studied in the same school where Charles Lamb and uh, Coleridge studied. He was a friend to Keats, Shelley, Coleridge, and other contemporary writers. He is a prolific writer who wrote poetry, drama, essays, biographies, autobiography also. He wrote biographies of Wycherley, Congreve, Vanberg, and Farquhar. And he wrote critical essays also, and he used his pen for journalism also. His essays have the sprightliness, ease, and the whimsical charm that you find in the essays of Charles Lamb. And he is mostly known for his essays only and whatever he has written in prose, although he has written dramas and poetry also. On Getting Up on Cold Mornings is one of his most interesting and characteristic essay, which was first published in the Indicator, which was published in 1819-20. Right. So let us do the summary of the play, summary of the essay. The author begins his essay by writing that in one of his poems, Guilo Cordara, Guilo Cordara is the Italian poet who says that the little hateful creatures were not found in paradise. Whether this is true or not may be disputed, but one thing is certain: Adam had no necessity of shaving, and Eve did not have to face the hardship of cold mornings. So you understand, he starts his essay from Adam. You know, Adam, God created Adam for the first human being, and Eve was his companion. And Adam and Eve did not need to work. It was garden of paradise where they lived. They did not, man did not need to shave, and the lady did not need to indulge herself in household chores. He says that it is a fine way of spending half an hour. Those who favor getting up on cold mornings assert dogmatically without giving any good arguments to support their assertions. They should be made to stand round one's bed on a cold morning while one lies before their faces. And in this humorous way, he says they should be made to hear the arguments for and against lying in the bed till late on the cold mornings. The first argument in favor of not getting up on cold mornings is that getting up would mean sudden change of temperature. First of you First of all you face the change of temperature. One who has been warm all night finds the temperature most suitable to him. Getting up would mean coming down to a place with a very low temperature. And here Leigh Hunt quotes from Milton's Paradise Lost to say that this sudden change of temperature is a torture, which is similar to the tortures to which damned spirits were subjected in the hell. Leigh Hunt gives an interesting conversation with himself and his servant. His servant understands his master's desire to remain lying in the bed for as long as he can. He agrees with his master's view that the morning is extremely cold, more than usual in the season. He then asks him to bring him hot water for shaving. Due to extreme cold, he does not want to shave as it is troublesome. He calls shaving an unnecessary and a very barbarous kind of custom. He says that is most unmanly. He recollects great men and characters in history and literature who did not shave, and he takes their name: Emperor Julian, Michelangelo, Shakespeare, Spencer, Chaucer, Plato, and there are many more. He thinks that razor is cold, edgy, hard, and utterly different from anything that our senses would regard as gentle. Hunt says that if you try to shave with benumbed fingers, you are very likely to cut also with the razor. He says that different individuals have different arguments for not getting up. Some persons will be ready to leave their bed for a pence. A student would not agree to this. A pound, sorry, a proud man would get up only because of maintaining his sense of self respect. There will, however, be some who will sacrifice their pride for the warm bed. The mechanical man will, of course, get up without much trouble. An ingenious liar in bed will not leave his bed on a cold morning, even when told of the fact that it is injurious to health and adversely affects longevity. He will ask for proofs and precedents of the ill effects of lying late in the cold weather. He will say that keeping an even temperature of the body is of great importance. He will quote the examples of animals like the frog that sleeps all the winter. As to longevity, they will ask whether the longest life is of necessity the best. There can be some ways in which we can make the liar in bed get up. How? We can say that if he lies in bed till late, the bar will be deprived of a great lawyer. We may look at him in a good natured manner and tell him that we are waiting to take our breakfast with him. We can also say that the whole house cannot be put in order unless he is up and directs everything. We may say, as the last argument, that the sight of his illness makes others also sick. There are some other arguments that can be put forward in order to induce people to get up on cold mornings. We may say that lying in bed till late makes people fat. We may tell a father that he should present a good example for his children. We may tell a lady that lying in bed till late will injure her bloom or her shape. To an artist or the students, we may say that if they get up early, they will be able to do a lot of work. The writer is interrupted by a lady who has read his arguments. She inquires of him how he himself behaves in this respect. The author says that he behaves perfectly as all advisers do. He means to say that he does not follow his own sayings. The lady says that she would pay him a short visit next morning. At this, the author says that her visit will certainly make him get up earlier. And in this manner, the essay comes to an end. Thank you very much. That's all for today.